Hi, this is another video on my composition notebook planner. I think this may sum up basically the gist of how I use my planner. I wanted to show you my daily page. There might be some other videos that I could do on how I use this because there's so many things that I use this for. But this is basically covering the meat of how I use my journal. We've gone over the monthly view, which is right here. We've gone over the monthly view of the planner. We've gone over the weekly view. And now I wanted to go over the daily view. So again, we have our monthly view. We have our monthly tracking on this page. We have our weekly view. I used to have weekly tracking, but I found that to be redundant given the monthly tracking. So what I decided to do is use this page here to keep track of my routine chores that I want to do weekly, daily, every other day, and monthly. The monthly ones I put first because those are the ones that I have a harder time remembering. But I pretty much know weekly, every other day what I'm supposed to be doing. But I write it down anyway to kind of see, am I really doing it or not. So in a way, I guess this is still a tracking page, but not tracking as in, filling out a grid. This is more so just checking tasks off, like the bullet journal, like bullet journaling. So from here to here is my daily view. What I do when I plan out the activities for the next day is write down the day's date and what day of the week it is. So here I have 3 and Tuesday. Then I write down the times of the day that I actually plan on doing things. So here I wrote from 6 to 8 o'clock. And then I also wrote those times on this column as well. So that, I wouldn't have to go all the way back to here to see what time I wanted to complete a certain task. And the reason why I do that is so when I plan the routine things that I do every day, say, having breakfast and doing school, lunch, dinner, school, story time, getting ready for bed, I even put down when I am going to change my son's diaper. So when it's a certain time of the day, it triggers like, oh, okay, I need to go and change my son's diaper so that he doesn't have his diaper on for too long. The great thing about that is that gives me a chance to see if there's any opening in my schedule where I can do other little tasks. And when I plan my day out and I see what my routine is, I'll put those little tasks here as to what I really need to do. As to what I'll put those tasks that I can possibly do in addition to my routine over in those time slots. I really feel a need to plan according to how much time I have so that I don't feel defeated if I have 10 things written down on my list, but I'm only able to complete 2. So that's basically how I use this column. In this column, I could either write down notes or write down things that are coming up. Recently, I've been using it to write down my push tasks, tasks that I push to do the next day. So for instance, here on Tuesday, let me just show you again. I write Tuesday here and Tuesday in this column and in this column, and I also write it on this folded page. And this folded page comes into play when I'm trying to see how my day actually went. So like the actual week, I guess you would call it flipped page or area, where you write down the column that you write down how your actual week went. there's also a column built into how I set up my planner to write down how my day actually went. So the next day when I'm planning, if I see, you know, that my day's going a certain way, I'll plan the next day and adjust for some of the things that, you know, I see a pattern, where I see a pattern. If I see that I'm consistently getting up at 7 instead of 8, or I'm consistently, or in 7 instead of 6, or I'm consistently eating lunch, you know, at 12 instead of 1, then I'll make that change over here on the next day when I'm planning. So here, what I do to show that I've completed a task or not is I check it off here, but instead of writing down what I actually did here, I just write a check mark. And with the color coding, I know that this red check is referring to that item here. Not only because it's red, but also because it's on this the right side of the page. And I know that this check here is referring to this item that I had written down in my routine here because of its location as well. So in this part of the actual column, the part where to the left of the red margin line, I also write down the things that I've eaten that day, or how much coffee I drank that day, or how much tea or how much water. Those are all. This is a great place for me to keep track of those things. And again, here, you know, sometimes I'll write things out that weren't necessarily in my schedule. So, for instance, here I wrote down that I crocheted a project for our homeschool group. I spent most of the morning doing that, and while my son was taking a nap. So that kind of goes to show why I wasn't, you know, doing the other things that I had planned that day. So I really like being able to use this folded page here to keep track of the things that I'm actually doing throughout the day, and it kind of helps me think, okay, am I spending my time wisely or not? So like I was saying before, the great thing about using this column here, I didn't really write anything there, but this column here, I like using this column to put some of the push tasks that I hadn't done, and recently I've decided to call it bonus tasks. I don't know if you see that there. So a lot of the things that I haven't been getting to, like the plan is to start writing them here and call it like bonus tasks, you know, things that I didn't get a chance to do earlier in the week. And the longer this gets, you know, hopefully the more incentive I have to maybe just have a marathon planning day where I just kind of knock out a bunch of tasks at the same time. I don't know if you call it marathon planning day or a marathon doing day, but basically, you know, I'd want to go and say, okay, you know, like even write down whether the task is going to take me less than 5 minutes or not, and get, you know, a bunch of those little tasks done right away. So then that way, you know, I can see that this isn't, you know, getting out of control, the amount of tasks that I haven't done. So, you know, that's one way you can use it. Of course, you can use it anyway, but I found that I've been liking using this column for pushed tasks or tasks that I hadn't accomplished earlier in the week. Or you can just use it for notes, or you can use it to show what's coming up in the week. But, you know, typically I don't really need to do this because I have full view of what's coming up next in the week. So I've kind of found that this didn't really make sense to write that there. So I think that's basically all I wanted to show you regarding my daily view and how I use it. feel free to leave me a comment if there's anything else you'd like to see. There's a lot of other ways that I use this journal, and I might have a few other videos I'd like to share with you. So feel free to leave me a comment if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.